Something so cool about beliefs is that they tend to be temporary, right? They are something that can change with time. I find that a lot of times we hold on to beliefs and they change as we remember our own truth, right? As we evolve, as we come back home to self, as we let go of stories and beliefs that we've adopted from those outside of us. Sometimes beliefs serve a season of our lives. I always think about, I have a spiral tattooed on me. I always think about the spiral because I always think about there's levels to it. There's levels. And sometimes you can hold on to a belief, and that belief is what holds you until you can get to the next version of you, right? That version of you that probably no longer needs that belief. So, for example, for me, there was a time where I held on to this belief that no one understands me, right? It was my way of emotionally protecting myself. I told myself that no one understands me. They don't get it. And so what that resulted in is me shrinking myself, me not always sharing my truth, me not always sharing my ideas with people because they won't get it anyway, right? Or they won't understand. And then as I built up my nervous system to be able to deal with rejection, to be able to accept, being misunderstood, right, without being activated, then I no longer needed to worry about protecting myself emotionally, right? I no longer needed this belief that no one gets me. I was able to be like, it doesn't matter if they get me or not, right? Like I started just showing up in my truth. I started just sharing, not really caring whether or not other people would understand, whether or not they will get it. It didn't matter, right? Like I allowed myself to just express freely without wondering and worrying, but what if they don't get it? What if they don't understand? But there was a time where this idea that people don't understand me and that I need to emotionally protect myself, there was a version of me that needed that to feel safe. And that was a way in which I adopted, that belief, that story that I was holding on to. But as I reset my nervous system, as I expanded my capacity, right, to just deal with life, right? And sometimes it's not really rejection, but that's the idea of it, comes, I can handle it. It doesn't matter what anyone outside of me thinks of me because the truth of who I am doesn't change. And that's something I was reminded, my spirit told me, right? Reminded me, like, the truth of who you are doesn't change. It doesn't matter what you think of you or anyone else. The truth of who you are at your core, the abundance of you, the fact that source is within you, that doesn't change. And so you get to express however in any and every season. And you also just get to be kind to yourself about that. Patient with yourself in that process. Allow yourself to have a human experience without judging it. So, I say that to say this. Sometimes the beliefs that we're holding on to are the ones we may need in a season. But as we continue to come home to ourselves, remember our truths, expand our capacity, we no longer need those beliefs. Sometimes they are just there to support us. So this is a reminder. We always get exactly what we need. And that includes the beliefs. That includes the ideas of what life should be. That includes whatever, if you have a religious preference. It all matters. It's all part of maybe your soul story. It's all part of you coming home to self. Everything serves a purpose. And so be kind to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Know that, the belief today may change tomorrow, and that doesn't mean you're a hypocrite or that you don't know who you are or it doesn't have to be a judgment at all. It is part of the process. Allow yourself to have a human experience. That's what we're here for.